I don't know if people know this outside of Germany, but the leader of the far-right neo-fascist party, AfD, is actually a queer woman married to an immigrant with two adopted children. Oh, and her grandfather was a Nazi. I'm Alexis, and I'm a pop culture stan, but today I'm going to stray away from pop culture and dive into politics. I have a bit of a unique perspective because I was born in the US, but I moved to Germany when I was 8 and I spent most of my childhood there. And there are federal elections in Germany coming up on February 23rd. So while I may not have a German passport and can't vote, I still think it's important to speak about the country that I called my home for so many years. Basically, the AfD, die Alternative für Deutschland, the Alternative for Germany, was founded in 2013 as a ultra-conservative, radical-right, nationalist, populist party in opposition to Germany's immigration policies and its membership in the EU. It wasn't taken seriously at first, but in recent state elections in 2024, the AfD was able to gain a plurality of seats in the state of Thüringen, which marks the first time a far-right party has ever done so since the Nazi Party. The AfD's views are so extreme that Germany's domestic intelligence agency classified it as a suspected extremist organization. Now, in the upcoming federal elections, the AfD is once again threatening to gain even more strength and could even enter a coalition with the winning party, which would be disastrous. Alice Weidel joined the party in 2013 and became its co-lead in 2017, and now she has been selected as her party's candidate for chancellor in the upcoming election. Crazy fact, her grandfather Hans Weidel was a Nazi judge appointed by Hitler himself, who then completely avoided any consequences after the war and lived a normal life. What makes her so fascinating is that she embodies the exact opposite of what her party stands for. The AfD is all about anti-immigration, conservative values, the nuclear family. And yet Alice Weidel is a lesbian in a civil union with an immigrant woman of color with two adopted children. And the gag is, they don't even live in Germany. They live in Switzerland, which is where Alice Weidel's wife immigrated to from Sri Lanka. Her wife, who is also a film producer, which, as a queer performer, makes this crossover all the more fascinating. Seems like fascism is all-inclusive. Alice Weidel herself is against same-sex marriage, and she's quoted as saying she's not queer, she is simply married to a woman who she's known for 20 years. Imagine explaining that to your kids. So not only does she not embody what her party is campaigning for, she's actively fighting against her own right to get married and her partner's right to live in Germany. But if any of these changes get implemented, it doesn't affect them because they live in Switzerland. The hypocrisy here is crazy. Like, how can you dictate how other people should live without embodying that yourself? How can you find it within yourself to actively fight against the rights of your partner and your own family? I can only imagine how delusional or brainwashed her immigrant wife can be. And I don't even want to begin to think of the children. Growing up as two adopted children of a same-sex couple that denies that they're queer must be the most confusing thing in the world. My heart goes out to them. They're either going to swing all the way to the left to completely detach themselves, or they're going to be their parents' biggest supporters. Feels like there's no in between. So yeah, I normally uplift queer people, but this queer woman in charge of a fascist party cannot rise to power. So I beg of you, if you have a German passport, or if you have German friends, German family, anyone you know who can vote in this election on February 23rd, please urge them to vote. And not only vote, but vote left. Vote for social democracy. Literally any party that is not right or center-right, we cannot let the AfD rise to power and repeat Germany's gruesome history. I can't vote in this election. I can't make a difference. But maybe you can.